Welcome to Tales from the Tackle Shop. This is episode 5, and I have the smiling Alex Bates sitting opposite me. So, better match this week, Alex?
I don't know. I won't say a better match for me personally, but yeah, better fishing. I think everyone's been looking forward to getting on March, and it was a bit weird. We'll perhaps come across that later on in the podcast why certain sections didn't fish, but the rest of it fished its rocks off. It was mega.
It was good.
Typical March, yeah.
Really, really good, despite all the weed.
Yes. A lot of weed in places, but other bits maybe not so bad. So, yeah, it was cool. It was a good match. It was a good match.
Good. Cool. We'll get on to the match results in a short while. A few things we need to just cover first. So, news on the Fendon Guardian scheme. Whittlesea Angling Association have joined the scheme, which is awesome news. So a guy called Tony Jakes is leading that one. So he's going to run the Whittlesea side. Yeah, it's good. So they've got a lot of water. So myself and Ash Brown, we didn't anticipate getting any bigger in the next few months, but it makes sense for Whittlesea to join because their water links to Goose Tree on the 20 foot.
Mm-hmm. And then, so what clubs are involved with it now then? So
we've got Whittlesea, we have Kings Lynn for the middle level, and we have Parkfield, bottom end of 16 foot. We've got Rayfield's R&A Angling Club, middle section, and we have the British Pike Squad who lease the top half of the 16 foot.
Right.
And of course we've got March and District for the 20 foot and the Old Course the Neen. So we've got 6 angling clubs involved now, which is really cool. But most importantly, because it's a community project, it's not just about the anglers, it's about getting other people involved in the scheme. So Tony's busy contacting farmers, dog walkers, and other like-minded people. So the news is spreading fast. So it seems to be really well received, which is cool. And I did pop down and see some business owners this week along the Old Course, the Neen stretch, but I don't want to say anything yet because they haven't confirmed, but they will. So we've got more businesses coming onto the scheme as well, which is good stuff. Right, so keep your ears open for that one because that's going to expand. Now, I had a little chat with a few people about the way we've been doing things on the podcast and have a little chat with Alex. And it does seem there's an awful lot of very sad people out there that like listening to me and you.
Maybe, yeah. No comment.
No, to be fair, we set this up as a local podcast to broadcast the match results, push the local angling, but also we tried to incorporate more national things last year with different guests on. And what we find with the listening stats are that the local anglers like listening to us and the match results, which is fair enough because that's why we started it, really. So we want to keep that format in place, but we still want to try and have lots of guests on from different forms of angling and maybe even guests in the future who are from photography or conservation or whatever. But we do appreciate that maybe some guys aren't interested, haven't got time to listen to both. The podcast gets too long. I think we've had a few 2-hour podcasts. Yeah. So we're going to try a new format, and that's going to start this week. So we have a guest on this week, and I'm not going to say too much because I have a little teaser for you. It's only a very short 3 or 4 minute teaser. But what we're going to do, this guest, we're going to have him on Friday as an extra podcast. So the normal podcast format will be on the Wednesday. And when we have guests on, we'll do a little introduction with them on the Wednesday and then have their full podcast on the Friday. Now, it won't be every week, obviously, because we can't physically do this. But we thought we'd just try it and see how it goes down with everybody out there. So really appreciate everyone that listens. Want to keep the local format in place, but also we want to try and expand as well. So would really like people's feedback of how this week went, because we're going to have this podcast today, which is Wednesday, and we'll have another one out on Friday with our guests, and it'd be nice just to hear people's thoughts. So we're going to try that in a sec. And in fact, Alex, what we're going to do, we're going to have the little teaser with our guest on now. Okay, Alex, so we have our new format with our first guest on, and we're going to try this out, see if it works. It's going to kind of be like a little 60-second, who are you? So, it's a man, and he is sitting in front of me with trepidation, Sweat is dripping down his rather large forehead.
Damn you, sir.
We could be twins.
There's a look of a certain age.
I think you're a lot younger than me. But, yes, I was like looking in the mirror of a younger, more handsome version of myself. Right, here we go. So here we go. Are you ready, our mystery man?
I am.
Here we go. Favourite breed of dog?
For biting, Malinois. For searching, Spaniel. For a pet, why would you have a pet dog?
That's thrown me completely to start off with. First car.
Mini, 1 litre, made by Leyland. Old, W Reg.
Favourite band?
Not a band, Tim McGraw, country music.
Nice. Favourite song?
Live Like You Were Dying.
Favourite fish?
Right now, perch.
Memorable catcher?
21-pound pike on a ultralight rod, 5-pound fluorocarbon straight through.
Nice. First name?
Tom.
Age?
40-something, early. 1, 2.
You don't look it.
Age well.
You have.
Yeah.
You had a very nice paper round.
Well, it's got easier.
Favourite brand of tank?
It's got to be a CVRT. CVRT,
I have
nice
no
and fast.
idea what one is. Oh, it's a fast one, is it?
Oh, yeah, super fast.
Is it?
Yeah, really small. It used to be a Jaguar petrol engine.
Could it take a mortar shell?
No. No, that was a bad day.
That's a bad day. Favourite lure?
Stick bait, FFS, or creature bait, beetle claw.
Favourite colour?
Contusion.
That sounds... I'm going to have to look that one up.
It's a bruise. It's black and purple.
Nice.
Yeah.
Don't say exactly, but where do you live?
In the fens.
Do you have 6 toes?
Webbed.
You're not a true femboy, are you?
Nope.
You partly Essex boy.
I have partaken in some Essex activities, yes.
And Kent.
Kent, born and bred. Man of.
Man of Kent.
Man of.
You like real ale?
Yes.
How did I guess that one?
It may be the moobs.
I thought that was just down to COVID. So, Alex, can you guess who I've got so far? I'm going to play him this and he'll have no idea and think we've gone completely mad.
Yeah.
Okay, last couple of things. Previous job?
Military.
Nice. Varied?
Yes.
But you weren't... You were on the front line, but you weren't.
Yeah, all over. Traded as a mechanic, out of trade, rifleman, walking streets, then into traded again out in the desert, in the sandbox, then retraded to dogs, in trade, back in the sandbox, looking for things that people don't want you to find, and then doing it again.
Did you find them?
Yes. And then doing it again, looking for things that people don't want to find, but they might booby trap at the same time.
And we've got a lovely story about an Olympic athlete.
Yes, yes, the hairless wonder.
Hairless Olympic athlete. And most importantly, we've got your lure business. So can you give us a brief introduction to what you do and who you are?
What I do is I make finesse soft plastic fishing lures which are basically perfect for any small predator up to the big predators like pike and zander. And it is www.ffslures.com. So I am Tom from FFS Lures.
This is Tom Moyer from FFS Lures, and to hear the full podcast, you need to listen to the Friday episode. And believe it, we've done a different format this week, and probably will do forevermore. And Tom, you have smashed it. I've had
it's been fantastic.
I've had a brilliant.
It's been great.
It has been brilliant. Everyone's got to listen to the. I'm not sure how long it's going to be because we've been recording for 2.5 hours.
Wow.
Give or take
Wow.
other people coming in the house
Yeah.
and totally disturbing us. But it's been brilliant, and you've had so many stories, and you've told me so many things off air as you've made copious cups of tea, which has just been brilliant. But
Yeah.
guys, you need to listen to Tom on Friday. This is absolutely smashing. He's a local guy. lives in March, got his own lure company, is making it work, and I think we said on the long podcast, it's like a COVID success story.
It is, and I can own it now. I am not as embarrassed to say I had a good time in COVID.
Well, you've done really well. It's just, and you let's face it, you work bloody hard.
There's a lot of work behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Long days, 16-hour days. It's entrepreneur. That's you got to work it.
You have, yeah. So everybody check out FFS Lures website and Facebook page, and you'll see an amazing range of quality finesse lures.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Well, that's a bit different, isn't it? I actually listened to that myself. A bit of lure fishing, you know. I mean, last time me and you went out, I think we didn't do it any justice, but
It was a bit windy.
It was a bit windy, yeah. But yeah, that sounds very interesting.
Yeah, it is a very interesting guy with a varied background, obviously, with his military background as well. There's lots of funny stories and things. So that would be a good listen. So hopefully, people, have a listen on Friday to that one as well. Or if you're out fishing at the weekend, obviously listen to both. Let us know what you think. Cool. Right. Shall we get straight into it? Do you want to talk about the March Open or straight into match results first?
I know, might as well talk about each individual matches. Might as well start with March. Obviously, it is the main venue in the Fens, isn't it? When you think about it, it's...
Well, before we do that, did I tell you I got plagued with bream today?
Yeah, a bit like I did last week.
You got plagued with bream. But my smallest one was about £9.
Right.
Got plagued with them, mate.
£9?
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
The bigger one, I just couldn't be bothered to weigh it.
£9.
Does it count if you hook it with the back?
No.
Oh, okay. They didn't count then.
They don't count anyway. You caught them on a plastic bait.
Fight well.
I bet they did it. It was in the back. I think you was probably using it as live bait.
I did consider it at one point. I was a big old boy. I thought I could use that as a float as well. Yeah.
Use a balloon.
Me a big balloon to hold these ones up. It went well. Yeah. Hit it at distance, and I thought, oh, hello, what we got on here? And then it started going upwind, chugging around. I thought, oh, bloody bream. Oh, well. Right, I interrupted you. I do apologise.
No. You all right, mate? There weren't no big bream caught in March, funnily enough.
Didn't get plagued.
No, not this week, no.
Any skimmers?
There was quite a few in the usual areas, but not where I drew. I drew my consistent K section near the bypass, so
the times I've
nothing
seen you,
changes.
Apart from when you were near the chute last year when you won one of the Opens, you've always drawn next to the bypass.
Yeah, it's funny that, isn't it? Yeah, it doesn't matter whether I pick my peg or someone else picks my peg, I still get dross. I have a nice day's fishing, but you go back and it's like speaking to people and you're like, oh yeah, I've done this and done that, and you're like, you been on a different river to me or what? But who knows? Might get it this week, might draw an absolute bunghole, but...
I knew there were going to be some big weights. It's stuff full of fish at the minute.
Yeah, but I mean, everyone's focusing on the big weights, which is brilliant, but to me, the biggest shock is why there's been no fish in A and B section. So, pegs 1 to 16, literally there's been no fish there. What fish have been there have been really tiny little fish, and I don't know. I don't know why that should be.
Should we just clarify where A and B section is?
Yeah, so basically permanent, well, there's no permanent pegs at March, but where normally A1 is peg 1, so Swallow Way at the back there, at the far end towards the Coal Yard Bridge.
It's as close as the railway line as you can get.
As you can get, yeah. You're about probably 10 pegs away from the railway line, but yeah, so I think there was a £6 and then a £2. Then it was ounces, and then it picked up a little bit actually just before the disabled pegs. There's a few boats just in the narrows. They caught a few fish there. I mean, the river had pace, but normally when the river's got pace, they'll catch skimmers there, and there's normally boatloads of roach. You know, it's normally solid, but I don't know. It was just terrible, and we're not using those sections this week in the Winter League. So, and I just find it a bit strange how the rest of the river is absolutely heaving with fish, and it's got the same amount of weed and everything. Yet there was no fish. I mean, a few people have said there's cormorants getting in there and moving the fish in further up. some people have said that there's sort of otters and bits and bobs about, but I don't know. It just seems really odd how the fish were not there yet. The rest of the river, there's tons.
Did Cheesy Bob have a match down on Reed Fen last week?
No, he went fish finding, so he went down Creek Cottage.
That's it.
And they didn't catch a lot. So I don't know. Maybe the fish haven't got in there yet, but it just seems odd to me that I've never, even as a kid, you'd go down in the middle of summer and catch a fish at chuck.
Yeah.
I don't know. To me, I just think that's a bit strange. But actually, Wigston's itself, I know a few of our lads went down in the week and they caught eventually, decent fish and stuff like that. But it took a while for it to get going, even pleasure fishing. So I don't know.
So
normally,
did C-section start just this side
yeah.
of the bridge?
So what we call hemp boat.
Hemp boat.
Hemp boat, yeah.
Pebble dash.
Pebble dash. So it's like 3 below the Wigston's Bridge. Started there and went obviously up to the culvert, which was C8. I think there was a 16 or a 17 pound in the middle of that section, and the rest caught 6s and 8s. So that was a bit strange. Normally it's a bit more even than that, and normally the culvert end is the end to draw. So I don't know. Maybe those pegs have been fished in the week, or might have been raked, and I don't know. There's a lot of that at the minute. Pegs that have been fished have produced more, and a cleaner of weed. So
yeah, definitely.
And then obviously D section was, unbelievable.
Was that behind the library?
Well, they left the pegs out behind the library, the actual proper, like the stump and the concrete and that, where Steve Winters had a big weight last year, and I think Welford had like £40, and Gary Miller had a big weight. I think last in that section was like £20 last year. So
that's right. There was one match that was just monstrous, wasn't it?
It was this match last year.
Right. Yeah.
So that's going to be in this week. Because they've obviously removed A and B section, they're going to put some extra pegs in.
So where did D start then?
D started what we call the bandstand. So as you come out from the swimming pool into the West End Park, you've got the first peg. There's like a bit of a gap, and the first peg's down the slippery slope just opposite the boats. That was D1, D2, D3, and then the D3 was basically on what we call the old slipway, and then there was 9 pegs up to the health centre bridge, which was D9. I think my dad was last, bless him, with 16, 18 pound. I can't remember now.
That whole section was Ray smashed it, didn't he?
Yeah, there was skimmers, there was big roach. It was mental. Ray had £42.12.
Wow,
which is a big weight. I think I think there might have been a couple of weights bigger than that, but it's up there. One of the biggest weights at March, definitely. Obviously, Ray's fishes in the Daiwa tackle and baits team, and afterwards he sort of said, I've caught on everything I've done, really. It's just a case of sorting the better fish out and be as quick as you can and aggressive as you can. So I think he's had 25, 30 skimmers from 4 ounces to half a pound, so mixed in with his roach, which is a bonus. Runner-up was Colin Oakman, which he was on D1, so he's the first peg as you come out from behind the library there. He's had 35.14. Then Mr. Tony Watling, junior, he's had £29 from... it's an okay peg, but it's not one that you'd fancy.
What section was he in?
So he was in E section. He was basically the left-hand side of the turning bay near the health centre. So he's got a bit of room below him where the turning bay is. And then you've got 2 pegs above the health centre bridge. So he's 3 above the health centre bridge. I think he's caught up on him.
Right, let's stop there, because we've got to tell the helicopter tale, haven't we?
Well, yeah. I see this helicopter whizzing round my head, and I was at the bypass. I thought, what's going on here? What's happened? Then I got a message from someone saying, have you fallen in
Who was that message from?
I don't know, some lure angler or think so-called wannabe lure angler that fishes for pike, and said, "Have you fallen in? Have they trying to tow you out?"
I was looking after your
And
welfare.
I was like, "What was he on about?" I thought anyway, I just carried on, got on with the
You
match.
ignored me.
And then when I got back to like dropping the scales and that off, and someone said, "Oh, did you see the helicopter?" "Oh yeah, Tony Watling's kit all got blown in by the helicopter." So he's had £29 and all his gear's been blown in the river.
Well, because obviously it came over the house. And
Yeah.
I thought, oh, not on RTA, because you hear him on the bypass. And this thing got closer and closer and closer, and it was boom, 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 boom. Shot out the front door, went down onto the river, and all I could hear was, "Oh, mate, yeah, I know." I thought, that's Cheesy Bob.
Was he a Londoner?
I could hear, it wasn't a very good impression, was it? No. I could hear the dulcet tones of Cheesy Bob. And he was trying to... This helicopter's just gone over, and it was like a hurricane.
Yeah.
There was branches coming off the trees. There was leaves everywhere. The killer swans were going up and down the river because the wind had really stirred them up. So that the father of the swans, was trying to chase off one of the smaller ones. He was having a go at this other swan, and while Cheesy's trying to catch these fish and go straight for his swim. So the swans were charging up and down. I was talking to him, and yeah, this guy, was it Tony?
Yeah.
He was pulling his rod holdall out of the river. It was crazy. I just thought, this is mayhem. The medics were off the helicopter trying to get back to the health centre bridge, and these hordes of little kids were chasing them.
Why?
I don't know. Bit of excitement, I think. I thought, this is mayhem. You've got little kids running after the medics, videoing them on their phones. You've got the killer swans going up and down the river, messing Cheesy Bob up. Some poor guy's got all his gear washed into the river. Pandemonium. And he still had £29.
Unreal, isn't it? It can only happen in March.
Yeah, you couldn't write it, could you?
Yeah.
No. Imagine what he'd have caught if he could have had the whole match. But that's not normally a fancied area, is it?
It's not. It's a tiny area. It's not one you go, oh, you can win the match from there. Especially when there's a lot better pegs in. But there's pockets of, well, there's big pockets. There's fish all the way through, to be honest. But there's areas where there's bigger fish, and again, I think the fish have grown from last year, and I don't know. A lot more people are starting to sort of think, do these fish actually migrate out, or because there's a few of them that, I don't know, they look like they've been caught before, should we say, or still absolutely immaculate fish, but they just look like they've seen hooks before, and I don't know. I think there's a certain amount of fish migrate, and a lot of fish that live there as well.
I think you're right. I think these rudd are last year's rudd.
To be honest, there wasn't many rudd caught today. Sunday.
Isn't that incredible?
Yeah, there was a few caught, but there weren't hardly any caught where I was. But when they feed all the way through. So it'd be interesting. They could feed this week, and there'd be big uns and all. Could be like 2-3 pounders.
It could be, yeah. I just find that amazing because there's so many rudd out there. It's ridiculous. But there's so many skimmers and there's so many roach. There's less roach, but...
I think there's more roach in the river this year.
Do you?
I think the weights will be bigger this year in general because the roach are slightly bigger. We always say March is probably at its best up until Christmas. Yeah. And then after Christmas, it goes downhill a little bit. The fish are still there. They're a bit more trickier to catch. It's all roach fishing, really. And then the same pegs catch skimmers, depending on what the river's doing. And then the last March Open, which is normally, it's the last Sunday in March before the close season. And that's a bit weird. It's like a different river. You're catching more rudd and little hybrid skimmery pommy things. Perch disappear, the roach disappear, and all that's left really is skimmers, little pommies and roach that have been caught all through the winter.
During the close season, you've got a hot back end of April, isn't it? I've never seen so many rudd in my life, from the town centre bridge all the way up past here. Incredible. Thousands of them. And you can see them all on the surface.
What, little ones?
No, they were ranging from 2 ounces to about £1.5 pounds.
Really?
Yeah, it was amazing.
There was quite a lot of bleak caught this week, big uns.
Yeah,
They're
2 or 3 ounce
and
jobs.
no, not that big, but like ounce and a half jobs,
Yeah.
proper big herrings, big kippers. They were. Yeah, it's full of fish in it.
It is full of fish. It's an absolutely incredible river.
It's strange really because you don't like. I know we said it before, but there weren't many. There's no pike about. There's no real big perch about either. It's quite strange, but I suppose if there's loads of bait fish, they're not bothered about.
Mate, the pike have been absolutely hammered for the last 10, 15 years. They have. We had the fish kill along here, and there was 4 or 5 little jacks, and I found one bit bigger near the bypass bridge. They've been hammered. They're not in the river. And of course, the fish kill just finished off what was left. Yeah. They've had to run the gauntlet for a few years. They get taken by rod and line, by net, and they have been hammered, sadly. But I thought there'd be more perch.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of perch in the river still. I don't know, just get a bit bigger and not perhaps switched on to squats and pinkies and maggots and stuff, but it's March, innit? It's an out and out bagging venue now. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Well, you guys fish a certain way. I mean, I fish, sometimes I put a bit of sweet corn on.
Yeah.
And then I'll get a skimmer about £1.
Yeah.
Get a roach about 5 ounces.
Yeah.
But I have to wait 10 minutes for a bite, which obviously in a match would be counterproductive. Yeah.
I doubt there's anyone even takes a tin of sweet corn with them.
But just to get through the rud, because there's mayhem.
Mad, isn't it?
It is mad. Yeah, I don't want them, and there's so many of them. But it is a fantastic river, and I just think I think some of these matches this year are going to be extra special. I really do.
Yeah, I think this Sunday's will be better than last week. The fact that it was flowing and there's a lot of weed in the river this year.
It must have been quite clear as well.
It was. There was a lot of boats as well. I can't believe how many boats there was. I bet we had 8, 9 boats. But I suppose when you think about it, it is October and it was quite a bright sunny day, but it didn't seem to affect the fish. It more affected your rig, because every time a boat went through, your rig just got caked in weed. And
did you see that underwater video I did with a boat going past on YouTube?
No.
You'll watch it. Amazing. Yeah. The fish are not bothered at all. No. Yeah, as the boat approaches, you get this. The boat has a big effect on the water, and the water actually rushes the other way to which the boat's going. Mm-hmm. So your float will go even quicker against if the boat's going from left to right, your rig will go quicker right to left. It causes this undertow. Mm-hmm. You can see it on the camera, and you might as well just take your rig out, because all the weed gets pushed up. Mm-hmm. It smashes into your line, your hook, you've got no chance. But the fish don't give 2 hoots. No. It's a strange thing. And also on the underwater footage, it cleared the water. I thought it would have made it murkier.
Really?
Yeah, it was really strange. It just kind of, I don't know. The fish aren't put off by boats. That's the main thing.
No, I mean...
No, it stimulates them for anything else. You see them start fluttering and moving with the extra flow.
Yeah.
They can hear it coming.
Oh, yeah. Well, we can hear it coming. It's like...
But I think boats are good.
Yeah.
They are. They're
sometimes.
As long as they don't go, through your pole.
Well, no, it's not that. To be honest, most of the boaters that are about this time of year are experienced boaters and they know what they're doing. It's when you get someone that's panicking, that's not seen anglers before, and they're all over the river, in and out of people's poles, and it's like, mate, just come down the middle, nice and slowly. You won't have any problems whatsoever. Yeah. You know, smile and wave and hello, mate, and everyone's generally really pleasant, but sometimes you get the ones that just ignore you, and it's like you're invisible to them, and they just come through, and it's like, right, okay, mate, thanks, cheers. But part of fishing, isn't it? Boats, I mean,
doesn't put the fish off.
Good job there is boats, otherwise it's been weeded all the way over. I think.
Would. Anyway, that sounds like a fantastic match. So third place was
So Mr. Watling was third with 29 exactly. Then moving down the length a bit further, you had Simon Colclough. He's had 25.15, so he's been 2-3 above the turning bay. which in years gone by, that was like, oh, I'm not going to bother going fishing there. Oh, that'd be rubbish. What's the point of going down there? I'm going to catch 5, 6 pound. The allotments and that little area there is so consistent. No matter what the weather, really, whatever the river's doing, there's normally a lot of roach through there, and he's had a lovely day, 25, 15. So if you'd have said to him you're going to catch that before the match, he'd have bit your hand off. So he's fished mega there. Gary Miller was then above the turning bay towards the bypass. He's had 24, 14. Again, another mega weight. Ground bait and pinky fishing. I think he's had a few rudd there, not loads, but he's had a few rudd. And then 6th was Tom Moretti. He's been somewhere around the allotment gate style there, somewhere around there. And he's had 24, 13 and a half. So,
well, they're close.
Yeah, very close. So, yeah, mega fishing really. There was a load of 23s and 22s all up there. It sort of went, the weights dropped when you got to where K section is near the bypass. I think that was always going to be a bit of an iffy one, to be honest. Still double figures all the way through. And that's where I was. My match was a bit weird, really. Got to my peg, and I know the peg, I don't like it. I've drawn it 3 times now, and I think it's a big open peg amongst a load of trees, so you can imagine it gets the wind on it, and the sun, and rain, and everything, so... Whereas the others are a bit more sheltered. Got to my peg, got my platform in, got set up, got my rig out, got a rig in with a plummet, and I thought, oh God, this is awful. Just couldn't get a plummet in anywhere, and I'm thinking, right, I need to rake my peg. So I went to look at my phone. I thought, oh, I better just check what time it is, because the raking rule is you can't rake after 9 o'clock. And it was like 5 to 9, and I thought, what is the point of raking it now? I'm going to only be able to chuck it in 2 or 3 times, and you're on the limit of what time you can rake it. And so I thought, right, just get on with it. And it was tricky, mate, to be honest. It's frustrating. I couldn't catch down the middle, and normally the start of the match at March down the middle is when you can put like £5 in the first hour, and I literally caught 15 fish. So frustrating, because you couldn't get your rig to run properly. It was flowing as well, so that was a nightmare in that sense. So all I could do was fish a loose feed match, really. I ended up catching like 2.5, 3 foot deep in 5 foot of water, because that's as near to the bottom as I could get. I mean, plumbing around, I must have spent 20 minutes plumbing around just trying to find a nice little run, and it was terrible. But you have to get over it, don't you? You have to find a way of catching. And
what did you end up with?
Middle of the match, I started to catch a few fish and start to think that I could put weight together.
Roach?
All roach, yeah.
All
I had a
roach.
few perch. I never had any skimmers. That's a lie. I had a little pommy thing last chuck, literally. As the whistle went, I had one about 2 ounce. The peg ram's quite wide as well. It's there's sort of 2 boat channels almost normally. So you've got like deep-ish water at, say, top kit +2, and then it shallows up and then goes deep again. And then when you go across, normally you can find like a gradual shelf. Because of the way the bend is and everything, it literally goes from that like 3 foot depth to nothing in half a section of your pole. And of course, because it's a steep shelf, it's full of weed. You can imagine it's absolutely full of weed. So I had nowhere when the fish normally back off late on. You can put a section on and carry on catching over. But I couldn't get a rig in.
Yeah.
I couldn't even catch on a waggler over it either. And then basically I didn't run out of fish. I just think with the peg and everything, I knew the fish wanted to back off, but I couldn't catch where they were going to back off to.
If you'd have gone down there in August when I was picking these fish up for this fish kill,
Yeah.
you wouldn't fish it.
No.
It's so weedy.
Yeah. Well, when I was getting my platform in, I could feel it on my boots, all this cot, and it was weird. It was like you had clothes on the bottom of your feet. It felt all heavy round you when you was moving about, but that'll soon go. I mean,
Oh, we get a couple of frosts, and
it's already dying off now.
Yeah, it's dying off. But I reckon Sunday, I'd rake regardless. I wouldn't bother. I'll just rake areas.
Yeah.
Because these fish, they love the rake going in.
Possibly.
They do.
Possibly, yeah.
I'm convinced they do. Well, I know they do, but it's warmer, they're more active when I was raking the swims. But I can't see any different now. And because of the commotion of everything, the killer swans, the dogs, the boats, I don't think the rakes put them off at all.
No.
In fact, the opposite. I think it gets them going.
Possibly, yeah. Yeah.
All the there's so much stuff, food stuff in the weed, naturals. You just drag. If you can get a bit of a Canadian pondweed where they got the silt, because the Canadian pondweed actually grows in siltier sections, whereas that horrible reedier stuff's more of the harder bottom. If you find an area with silt, wow, it's amazing the difference. Yeah, also you've got a lot of naturals in the silt, and it just gets them going. And it's still warm enough where they're really, really hungry.
Yeah, there's plenty of like pondweed, Canadian stuff about, isn't there?
Yeah. What about upstream of the bypass? How'd that fish?
Well, it wasn't in actually.
Oh.
No,
That's a shame.
originally they planned to put like 2 or 3 sections up there, but with the parking and the rain we had midweek, good job they did. It was a master stroke really that they said we're not going to put it in. I think the fishing would be better, but I don't think the field would have been up to it, and I think there'd been a few cars stuck.
Oh, they'd have gone in.
Yeah.
Okay, on the field because you were. Did you hear me go past you?
Was that you?
That was
Someone
me.
bibbed me. Yeah.
Twice.
Did you?
I was giggling. Yeah.
Oh.
As I went to Donington, as I come back. Yeah. You're obviously talking because you're the last fan to leave.
No. Well, the reason why I was the last fan to leave was because after the match I was on scales because K2 wasn't drawn, but because I was the last one there, it's like, oh, just take scales. Yeah, all right, yeah, no problem. So I was on scales, and because I knew how weedy my peg was, I thought, right, I'm going to rake this now, just in case they decide not to vote to rake again this week. I thought I'd rather rake it and know that if one of our team draws it, they're not going to have a frustrating day like I had. So, you know, chances, well, hopefully we won't draw it, but because it's not a very good peg in that section. But if we did, I know it's raked properly, if you know what I mean. So I was raking it at the end, and I was talking to Josh, just as you do, you know, what you caught on and all that. And as I've chucked it, I've sort of looked to him, and the rope's caught on itself. So it's like, instead of stopping at 13 metres or whatever and then me just pulling it back, it caught, so all my rope went in with it. And it's flowing, so all you can imagine is this blue rope just floating right down the centre of the river. And I'm like, So someone come past, have you got a rake, mate? No. So I got my waggler rod out of my bag, chucked that over the top. If you'd have seen it, you'd have laughed. Chucked that over the top, and I'm like, just pulling slowly, pulling like this. And I said, yeah, Josh, you take that rod, and I'll get in and try and get it. Anyway, it was right on the limit. Just on the limit, I thought, oh, come on, you know me, like, just hurry up. So I went like that and pulled the line, and it went dink, the line snapped or something happened, and that went up there, and then this rope's going back towards the thing, so I grabbed my rod, and I'm like with the rod in the middle, up to my knees in silt and water, trying to grab this rope. Anyway, we got it back, thankfully, and that was my last chuck. I didn't bother.
They're quite expensive, those rakes, aren't they?
They are, yeah.
I bet they're in demand.
They are in demand, yeah.
I bet you've had a few phone calls about it.
We have had a few phone calls, yeah.
Are you going to do some special ones?
We might have some special ones, yeah.
Yeah, a few engraved.
Yeah, might do. So I've got a load of rakes coming in this week, so if anyone wants one, come and see me.
They'll need it for Sunday.
They might do, yeah. I mean, it's not everyone's cup of tea, but I think if some pegs have been raked and some haven't, I think it should be the same for both.
Mr. Crabtree would rake his swim.
Yeah, fishing for tench.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. But I think for me, if I could have got anywhere near the bottom and maybe caught some fish early down the middle, which, like I say, is you could have had another £5-6 easily onto my weight, I would have thought, or anyone's weights along there.
So we had the helicopter, the killer swans,
Killer swans, yeah,
and
weed gate, rake gate,
rake gate.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Rake gate 2.
yeah, part 2.
Part 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went past you the first time, bibbed the horn, but there was loads of vans there, and I thought he's not there. And as I come back, it was dark.
Was it?
It's virtually dark. And
Yeah, it was getting that way. Yeah.
I could see that. I thought that's Batesy's van on the side of the road still. And you were in the under the tailgate at the back,
Right.
getting
Just
stuff
shoving it all in as quick as I could.
Yeah.
I wasn't the last one off the bank. There was one other bloke still packing away, but that was the quickest I've ever loaded my van. Put it that way. I was saturated up to my knees, and if anyone's fished March, it's that horrible, silty, shitty, clayey,
It stinks.
vile. Yeah. So I just wanted to get out of there, to be honest.
Great match though. What a load of weights. The average weight must have been really high.
Yeah. Yeah, I must say as well, obviously there's loads of ways of running matches through the COVID thing, but between Bob and the Mark 1 boys, it was run efficiently. They managed to use the Braza Club, which for anyone that knows it, it's a big social club. And there's like a one-way drive-through, similar to what we had at the fishery. So everyone drove in, got their pegs out the other end. So there was no gathering, no one got out of their vehicles. Just a couple pointing people in the right direction. And then straight to the pegs. It was a rolling draw from sort of 7:15 really, so people were in and out, so you weren't getting people backlogged onto the road. So that was well organised. Scales, obviously I was one of the scales. Instead of we had like these buckets made up, which were brilliant. So, you didn't have someone holding the weigh pouch. People just poured it in and they stood back, put them on the scales, and away you go. And it was nice, the actual social side of things afterwards, because it's a big venue. All the tables were set out, and there was like 3 or 4 people to a table, and you sat down and they brought you drinks over. But you could have that banter, and it was good. It felt like you was team fishing again, and to me, that's one of the reasons why I enjoyed it the most, was because of Sunday afterwards. And just you can imagine everyone sort of, where you been and how you got on, and laughing about the helicopter, and it felt not back to normal, but it felt safe, and
Yeah, that's great because I think from what I've seen, a lot of these matches have been really well thought out.
Well,
And people have done, and also the anglers have been really good as well because they've respected the organisers' efforts.
Yeah, I mean, there's rules on following the scales and stuff like that, which is fair enough, I suppose. But to me, if you've got a face mask on and you're 2 meters apart from anyone, what's the difference between queuing in Sainsbury's or whatever? You should be able to really follow the scales sensibly. We're all anglers there, and if someone feels a bit uncomfortable, then you're saying, mate, just stand back a bit. And
I think it's just having a policy, isn't it? And
it is, yeah.
It's I don't know. Everyone's a COVID expert. Everyone's a race expert. Everyone's, I don't know, expert on everything due to social media. But it's just common sense at the end of the day, isn't it?
Yeah. It is.
Yeah. Right, we have really rattled on about the March Open, but it is a special river, isn't it? And there are special weights coming out of there. Right, buddy, what other matches have you got?
So probably the next one, we haven't covered them a lot really, because I don't know, it's still Fenland. Again, another club that attendances are going up and up each year is Hull Beach Angling Club. Obviously, the South Holland's a bit weird and a bit different to a lot of the drains around here. There's a lot of carp in there, as well as the roach and skimmers and perch and tench and stuff like that. And you see some of the catch shots, and there's an odd 6 ounce carp or £1.5, 2, 3 pound carp, and it's quite good. It's a little bit different, so I don't think there's any way of targeting them as such, but they're bonus fishes if you caught a tench, I suppose. So that's good to see. And they were on Sharps Bridge this week.
A bit
And
deeper there.
sorry.
It's a bit deeper on that section.
Yeah, I mean,
About
I'm not
14
too
foot deep
hot on all the
yeah.
whole beach stretches, to be honest. But when I have fished it, it's been really good. And I know they had a lot of fish kills for quite a few years ago now with the salt, but excuse me, it's definitely coming back. And you see catches all the time on there. You got bream and the roach, and I know Andy Shortland fishes it a lot.
It used to be prolific for the bream.
Yeah.
Huge bream shoals. Monstrous. I'm not talking that long ago, but there was something happened to him a few years ago. It was really weird. But even before then, in the 70s and 80s, they used to have big matches on there, and the likes of Sid Meads and Brian Lakey would smash it. It was bream at Mecca. So what have we got then?
So there was at Sharps Bridge. Winner on the day was Johnny Stubley with £20 one, all roach and bits and bobs. And Jason Thrower was second with 12.10. Roger Smith 11.3, and then Chris Newton, I think his name is, 10.14. So respectable weights. Again, I think the fish move about there. I don't know if they go all through the year at Whole Beach. I think if there's a few fish to be caught, they'll carry on. But it's just another venue, really. It's good access as well. It's parking behind your peg on a lot of it. It's not really... Obviously, you got the Little Holland with what's known for the carp and stuff, but the road's a bit naughty there. But the rest of the sections are...
You know that road.
I do know that road, yeah, very
You tried to do an Evel Knievel there once.
Yeah, I
didn't
did.
you?
That's it, mate. Yeah.
Jump the dyke.
Yeah, nearly made
Jump
it.
the Little Holland. Didn't quite make it, did you?
No, got to about bottom of the second far shelf.
But only got your socks wet.
Yeah, I only got socks out. That's what matters, isn't it? Yeah.
I'm doing a pike talk soon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for the northwest region of the PAC, and
What do you talk about? Because you don't catch anything.
it's all on.
Oh,
But
right.
I've got a picture of your van.
Have you?
Yeah,
Why?
because I'm explaining what the drains are like, the fen drains, and
Oh right.
I thought I'd add it in as a humorous slide, saying
Oh,
we
right.
also have
Yeah.
once a year.
Make sure you carry a hammer with a in your side door.
I'll say once a year we have the Fenland dyke jumping competition, and my mate Alex didn't quite qualify this year.
No,
Yeah,
just missed out by about 5 meters. That was a weird day. Exceptionally weird day. Yeah.
yeah, that is funny. So as you knew you were going to enter the drain, did you actually try and accelerate to jump it?
Thought, why not, eh? No. All I can remember was when I was in midair thinking, oh shit. And then as I'm going through the air, I can remember just bibbing my horn like proper. Beep, 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 beep.
Why were you bibbing your horn?
So someone could hear me, you know. If you're in danger, you know, someone might go, oh, where's that noise come from? You know.
You actually thought about these things as you were flying.
Yeah, you see, you know. Anyway, so
I might have to
bang.
use the van as the cover picture for this podcast now. You realise that, don't you?
Really?
Well, why not? Yeah, Rob
Yeah.
Hewison would like it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he reminds me every year. Oh, on Facebook, you come up, blah blah blah. Yeah, cheers, Rob. Thanks, mate. Yeah,
In all seriousness, though, God, you could have died.
yeah. It was. Well, that's what I thought when I was going through the air. I thought, oh shit.
Yeah.
Anyway, I've landed. Bang! I thought, and you know, this is how weird it is. I thought to bib my horn as I'm going through the air, but when I actually bang, I thought, oh shit, I'm under the water. I'm under the water. I'm under the water. So first thing, I'm trying to smash my window. All right, and I'm thinking, what am I doing? And I was like, you know, when you sort of get out of the panic mode, and I looked to my left and I could see the because it was dark, shimmer of light coming down the river. And I thought, I'm not underwater. What am I doing? So I just unwound the window as my van was filling up with water. Thank God I never had all my fishing tackle in the back. It was an empty van. And got out, jumped out onto the roof, onto the windscreen and onto the far bank. And I remember literally as I got there was 2 lorries that had seen me obviously just disappear into the river, and they were like, "You alright, mate? You alright, mate?" He's like, "Yeah. Do you want me to?" I said, "No, I'm absolutely fine, mate." So I had to walk along the far bank, pick my headlight in the middle of the field, pick that up with me, and I went past, and then got over the bridge, and then rung everyone, and obviously rung the police and done all that. But then about 2 hours later, all the phone calls, "Hey, you know, did you try and clear it? All right, Evil Knievel," and the funny side of things come out. But I can remember I rung my mum, and obviously she was absolutely hysterical. "Oh, you're right." And I remember saying, "Oh, Mum, I've done something silly." She's like, "Oh, you haven't killed anyone, have you?" I was like, "No, I've crashed the van." "Oh, where?" I said, "Well, I've gone in the river." "Oh, God." Anyway, she turned up, bless her, with my brother in the car, and the whole of the back was like hoodies, jumpers, puffer jackets, trousers, shoes and everything. And the only thing she didn't pack was a pair of socks, and that was the only thing I needed. It was mental. So I had to go to work for the whole day in bare feet with a pair of boots on it.
Are you going to work?
Yeah, I was going to work, yeah.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, it was early morning, so I still got to work for like 9 o'clock.
You must have been shaking.
Yeah, it was a bit weird. I mean, that day I kept thinking, God, why is the side of my hand hurt so much? And I'm thinking, why would that hurt so much? And it was where I was trying to smash the window, just giving it the bigging on the side.
How'd the van get out of the drain?
I suppose the scrapyard I think they went towed it out basically, yeah, because they couldn't get access from that bank that it was on. They'd had to tow it from the road. So I suppose they just got a winch and pulled it across. So
oh dear,
that took some getting out.
Yeah. Whew. Yeah. Lucky.
Yeah.
Did the airbag go off?
No.
You must have hit that bank hard.
Well, I think what happened is it sort of hit the middle, but aquaplaned into the far bank, and it was all been piled. So basically my wheel had gone underneath, and the engine was still running. So I even had time to turn the engine off and just sensibly get out. But,
that is crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, and funnily enough, that Christmas I got, I think 3 people bought me them little tools, little bright orange tools with the seatbelt cutter on, and got the little point so you can smash the window, and so I've got plenty of them.
You're going to get some more this day.
Yeah.
You mentioned it. Yeah. Wow, that was lucky.
Yeah.
Right.
Next, yeah. So Ramsey. Wednesday match was at St Mary's, as it always is. Nice little open match in the week. I mean, it was about 14, 15. They missed the first 6 pegs out and then went back towards Ramsey itself. John Locke was the winner with £16. He's caught perch and pommies and bits and bobs on little bits of worms and stuff. Jeff Tuttleby was second with 15.11. Steve Stones 14.15, and then Andrew Wilding 13.10. Half term, so he's fishing this week. MPEG Wilding, we're going to call him now. So that was Wednesday, decent match at St Mary's, and Sunday they was the Narrows, and MPEG Kilby appeared again.
Which brother is
Paul.
that? Paul.
Yeah, he is MPEG Kilby.
He's not Big Fish, he's MPEG.
Well, he's Big Fish and MPEG.
Is he
Kilby,
both, is he? That's just greedy, yeah.
He's always on an MPEG, even more so than his brother. £14, I think he had a couple of tension bits and bobs. Second was Mount Plant, £11. Third was Ivan Stills, and £9.7. So weren't as many big fish caught there, but still a few bits and bobs caught. I think this week they're on St Mary's, both Wednesday and Sunday. Whittlesea Saturday series, 23 there this Saturday. So,
good turnout.
It's good. They was on Cop Bank, so I think everyone was a bit interested to see how it fished.
They struggled, didn't they?
They did struggle, yeah. Winner was Paul Wright, member of the Peterborough team. He had 1.15. Equal second was Jeff Tuttleby and Chris Hardman with £1.3. Equal fourth was Dave Steels and Keith Rounding with £1.2. and then there was not a lot else caught. So, shame really.
Brave decision to have a go.
Well, you got to, haven't you?
Yeah, you got to. Yeah.
And it just proves it's not all about catching all the fish all the time,
Yeah.
which is brilliant.
Are they going to have another go? Or are they?
I think they're going back to Whittlesey Dyke, the
Yeah.
disabled pegs this week, and give that another go. So
But I bet they had the same problem as you guys. I bet it was weedy as hell.
I would say so.
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And then really, we've just got the Tid Goat Open match, club match. Sorry, Main Road again. 110 Emery, 5'11 and a half. I think he had a few ropes, didn't he? Pretty sure he did. Second was Jess Rocket.
No, didn't one guy win it with silvers for £6?
Oh, sorry, no. Jess Rocket won it with £6.
That's
five.
it. Yeah. Yeah. Silvers.
Yeah, and then Pete Emery was second with a tent, just some bits and bobs. And then the other Kilby with £2.15, Andrew. And then Dave Simmons with 113. So, better than last week.
I'm not going to keep going on about it,
No.
but I am going to.
Oh,
I've done some research.
have you?
Yeah.
What?
Do you want to know what the top 3 combined weights were for the month of October last year?
Go for it.
30th of September, this is
Yeah.
a Main Road, £43.
Breen.
Not all brain, there's lots of silvers. 6th of October,
Yeah.
£64.
Breen.
This is the first 3,
Yeah.
lots of silvers. 13th of October, £31. 21st of October, £42. It's 27th of October, £26. And if you look at their midweek Wednesday matches, there's loads of silvers. Lots of it was fantastic fishing last year.
Interesting.
I don't want to keep banging the same drum, but cormorants, mate, they are as we know,
Yeah.
nightmare.
I think on social media this week, there's been a lot of cormorant pictures, and
Yeah.
there's a lot of them about in there.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it is when the rivers are in flood, they tend to come inland even more and go to the more lesser flowing venues, I suppose.
I just think they're getting tamer and tamer. There's more of them.
Yeah, you're definitely right there. Definitely getting tamer.
I had one this morning. I was banging my hands. I was 5 foot away from it. It just looked at me and just ignored me.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
just
Well,
totally ignored me.
we had a match on J Lake on Thursday, and there's one just landed when there's a match on.
Yeah.
Like, not a care in the world.
No.
So yeah, but the overall summer series is finished. Tid.
Tid, yeah.
Yeah. So the overall winner was Andrew Kilby with 199 points. Second was Steve Barrett, 168. Third was Pete Emery, 155. Fourth was Gregor Shalat with 140. And just sneaking in was David Simmons with 135.
Do you know, when clubs do things like that, it's brilliant. Because
Yeah.
it gives it another edge, doesn't
Yeah.
it, as well?
Yeah.
And they have a winter series as well, don't they?
They do. I think it starts this week. So
That's really good.
they should call it the Stickleback Challenge.
Oh, mate, I fished North Level for 45 years on and off.
Yeah. It's just one of them, isn't it?
It's a great drain. It's a great club, and next week I hope their £15 of silvers win it, and Andy shuts up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's it, really.
Have we got any? No, we've had Ramsey, haven't we?
Had what, sorry?
We've had Ramsey.
Yeah, I've done
Yeah.
them all, I think. That's
Cool.
all of them.
I've got to make an apology to Bob Bailey
Right.
from St Ives because he emailed me about 3 weeks ago and I completely forgot to check tales from the tackle shop at gmail.com. But now I've put a reminder in my phone every Monday night to check it. So if guys want to send in any match results to the email address, which is talesfromthetackleshop at gmail.com, I promise I shall check it every Monday night. So I apologise to Bob. I did reply to him and apologise, but yeah, that wasn't very good on my behalf, so we will get that one better. Right, buddy, that's been fantastic. So you've got March Open Sunday.
No, it's the third round of the Winter League Sunday.
Sorry, on the Of course, the need.
Mm-hmm.
How are you getting your team together? Is it via WhatsApp and just clarifying a few things?
Yeah,
Or,
yeah.
or does everybody know what to do and you're just going to let them get on with it?
I think there's a bit of that, yeah. Nothing's changed too much. There's going to be areas that you need to be in and areas you're just going to have to be the best of the rest.
Yeah.
But that's March. It's one of them venues. It's phenomenal, but it's extremely peggy. And
Yeah, you bit
hopefully
of luck.
the draw gods are with us this week.
Get Ray Malley to pull the pegs.
He did last match, and he definitely had a good one this week. So hopefully it continues.
Yeah, I think he's the blessed man at the minute, so you need to continue with him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right, so listeners, really appreciate all your support. It's fantastic. Let us know what you think about the new format. Listen to Tom Moyer on Friday. He's a local guy who's got his own business, but it's not just that. It's all the other things he's done in life. It's quite an exceptional...
Interesting guy.
Exceptional character. He's done loads of things. So I'd be interested to see what everyone thinks about that side of things as well. So let us know.
Well, I'm just looking at these plastic baits here now, and they're phenomenal, aren't they? I mean, you've explained 3 different setups that I've never even heard of.
Well, they're like addictive. I've been playing with the plastic while we've been talking. It's like
Throwing the plastic.
throwing the plastic at each other as we've been talking. No, it is amazing what it does, and yeah, it's a different world when you talk about Texas rigs, Carolina rigs, and all that malarkey, and they work. It's incredible. So we'll be doing some videos as well and chucking those out on the YouTube channel, just how to rig these things up. But like I said, listen on Friday, and you can glean more. And we've done a short video on YouTube which shows some of these baits as well, so if you're interested, have a look on there. Right, Alex, it's been a pleasure as always. Anything else you'd like to add?
Not really, mate.
Just a special offer on rakes.
Yeah, special offer on rakes this week, so get them before they're all gone.
Yeah.
And just the fact that the first March Open officially will be the 20th of December. These matches that we've had aren't actual March Open, so don't contact Bob thinking that it's a March Open. They're not. They're just Winter League practices or Winter League rounds. So the first match where it's going to be open is the Christmas one. All being well, hopefully everyone's safe. That'll be the 20th of December.
I should think that's virtually full now, isn't it?
I don't think he's taking names now.
Isn't it? It's too early, is it?
Yeah.
But guys who want to fish that, you want to keep on the ball and get in there early as soon as it's open, because that
obviously with what's going on and stuff like that, it's who knows what's around the corner, but we'll see.
Yeah, we're in a low risk area. Well, say low risk, medium risk, so we'll see what happens. Yeah, cool. Alex, it's been lovely. Thank you very much. Everybody out there, thank you for listening to us. This has been Tales from...
already asleep.
They like us prattling on, so we're going to waffling on about nothing. But it is tackle shop banter. It is. At the end of the day, yeah. This has been Tales from the Tackle Shop, a Fenelon Fishing TV production.